John's got like fucking frustrated engineer face.
So we dropped a lot of gold. We dropped a lot of gold right there. Okay, we dropped a lot of gold off camera.
We can circle back on all this.
But really, over the break, we were talking with Sage and we're talking with Dave Massey right now.
What's happening?
Thanks for joining us, Dave.
And we're talking about like, what does it take to be a musician in the modern world, really? Okay,
Too much.
Now, does artistry give way to business? Does business?
And well, you had a point which was good. It was that sometimes when you start using your craft or artistry as a business, it stifles your creativity.
Not only that, it takes the time from working on it.
Like, it takes the time. You know, it takes the time away.
Yeah,
that's really
you got to balance a life.
It also just like I would just like say that touring and your normal shit takes time away from that too, but it's also important.
Well, whenever you're taking a brand, right? It's not just a band anymore. It's so saturized market that you take a band and now it's a brand, and then you have to get everything legitimized, you know. And then when you start dropping the music, you got to drop it everywhere to make sure you're covered. And then on top of that, you have to hit promotional value. You have to grow marketing value on all of your profiles. So you got to get a Meta account. Then you got to fucking get all the links. You got to, and then whenever you do that, you're selling EPKs to festivals. You're selling them to promoters.
You have to embed all your tracks with
it's all monetized.
And I hope
you have to those registered by BMI ass caps.
I hope half of you artists understood what he's talking about there, because those are all very, very important.
Very important.
Very fucking important things. If you don't know what EPK is, if you don't know how to promote your brand,
you're selling something nowadays, and that's what's shitty. But like, you got to have a sell point. Like, you can have good music and not do it, and then now you're never.
Well, to me, it's not shitty. Okay, so from the outside looking into me, it's not shitty, because now I don't have to have the approval of some fucking record company to help sell me.
Okay.
Now I can do it myself.
Yeah, that's being independent.
I feel you there, but like, being independent means that now I have to adopt that role, and I might not be very good at that shit.
It's not easy.
I'm just a creator, man.
Yeah, it's not
I just like to write music, man. I just like to write music. I like to play music. That's what I'm good at. Now, if I have to split my time up. Now, and now I'm on like, oh shit, okay, now I got to worry about like
TikTok,
getting myself on playlists on Spotify so that I can be heard.
There's pros to cons to everything.
If I have to like, be pimping my brand everywhere else over here, that's taking time away.
Well, I feel like if you love something enough, you'll do it.
It taints the experience, to be honest.
Well, I think
I agree. Like in my personal career arc, I've kind of like not done as much of that. Now I'm about to transition into trying to do more of that, to like really kind of
promote yourself.
Yeah, sling the actual Sage Judd essence. You know what I mean? And because I've done the thing where it's like I tried really hard for years to like just be able to like get really good at keyboard, and it's kind of like almost like to draw a parallel to like another type of field, like in acting, like you could be an actor in a bunch of different movies where you're playing different types of characters, and that doesn't mean that you're like you're being less of yourself because you're serving some type of external circumstance.
Right. It's almost like you need a manager, but it's hard to find somebody to be your manager, so you're being your manager and the artist in one, and that's today's regular. You know, you got to be.
Well, the thing is it's hard to.
The whole scene opened up, man.
Well, the whole scene opened up.
We can do it all ourselves. We can do it. Yep. But are we all actually capable of doing it?
Most people just like playing, and they don't release a lot, and it saturates the live market, and then the people that over-release and don't perform a lot oversaturate the online market. But it's the people that have the happy medium, that monetize their stuff right, that get their marketing down, that get everything, like the full rounded circle. Those guys are the ones that end up booming because they have the knowledge to do both sides of the fucking spectrum. You know what I mean?
Well, and I will say, like, even if you have an artistry or whatever it is, and social media part of it's not your bag, then how much do you love your fucking artistry to not learn that part of it? Because it's
mainly motivation. It's
like
all motivation.
You have to promote your brand now.
It's all motivation.
Why wait for some record executive to find you? Why wait for somebody to promote you? Why wait for some manager to find you? Do it yourself.
It's ego.
I don't even think it's ego.
Hippie suit duality. You know what I mean? It's like you got the like, man, I just want to express myself.
Yeah.
Over here, and then
I just want to do that.
If I thought that my podcast
on the other side, if I thought that my podcast wouldn't exist. If I thought that my podcast wouldn't exist.
No.
Yeah.
The answer lies in a team, okay? I need somebody over here that worries about my social media.
You need a family behind a brand, or your brand is small.
If I am just worried about creating the best content that I can. If I'm a creator, I just want to stay a creator, man. And I want somebody else over here that does my like engineering. I want somebody over here that does my like content, promotion.
That's what we do. I handle the social media aspect part of it.
That is a lot of it.
But a few extra shares and clicks from you is a big deal.
And I do what I do.
But you could do more.
I could.
You know what I'm saying?
There's a break at a point, you know what I mean?
And I get the cringe aspect of it. No, I just get the cringe aspect of it. And self-promotion is
it's
not
hard for
easy.
me. It's hard for me, and I haven't done it a lot.
It's really hard. I'm a total introvert, dude. I'm like, I want to play piano forever in a dark room alone.
I get that. I get that.
But that's what I'm saying. That's what I'm saying, right? And if you approach it that way, you are making the most original content, and you're actually doing it just for you. And that works.
Well, I see a lot of artists.
But like, you do have to, in today's age, if you're not relying on that major label to come pick you up, because honestly, they're not going to do it in Wichita, Kansas.
A lot of people start out thinking that they have the new thing, though, and they're like,
but that talent ain't going to get you. That talent ain't going to get you there.
No, it's marketing.
That's the deal. You have to adopt these other suits. You have to adopt it.
That's totally true, because like, at least in my own experience, like with like there's this kind of separation between like ways that I've managed to make the career aspect of things work, and like over here I got the like just being artsy island, and so it's like I've promoted it enough to get like friendly comments from internet strangers that they're like, man, this is cool,
this is good.
But they didn't pay me in a way that affects my bills. They're just like, hey, this is sick. You know, like,
yo, you're on stage right now.
I got some personal gratification out of that. But that's about it.
I think you guys get to a crossroad as artists where you either have to stop being so stingy with your art and release it, and stop being stingy with the business aspect of it. Because if you want to be the artist that you want to be, you're gonna have to make money off this shit.
Some people like will make a bunch of stuff and just not even release it, and then they just drop a fuck ton of stuff and it's all interluded. And I like that personally. Like,
I don't.
It's really dangerous to drop that way, but like when you do, it allows the fan to just totally immerse into your shit, like binging Netflix seasons in a way, kind of vibe. You know what I mean?
That's such a small. If you're placating to your fan base, the people that immerse themselves deeply into music, and I'm part of that with certain artists, but that percentage of your fan base is 10% if you're lucky. If you're fucking lucky. The way people ingest music and ingest entertainment and content these days is like this. So like,
it's very fast paced.
So it's in and out, man.
If I was an artist today releasing content, I would write an 8 to 12 song album and release half of those in a weekly or bi-weekly basis until I'm halfway through the album. Then I drop the whole album. I would go like, here's my 4 singles, and then here's the rest of my music. Here, all of it together. If you're an Apple Music person, that's what Apple Music is doing.
Sunset's been dropping it in a way like we took our first album, right, and we've been playing since like 2019, and we've been growing it and stuff. But like for the last 3 years, we've been recording at different studios trying to find the right sound, you know, and like. We just was like, all right, it's been like 2 years. So like we finally recorded, and like we have this album that's like in the process of being mixed and mastered. So like we decided, should we drop it all once or should we drop it in sections? So instead we dropped like half of it once every 2 weeks, and now we're about to drop groups.
You like portion it.
You
portion it out like a podcast.
Like singles, but it's all the same album.
But then you have to get, a lot of times eventually you have to give us the whole album eventually.
Yeah, you got
to. A lot of people like, hey, like here's one a month for 12 months. Fuck off.
I'm
not waiting a whole year for
one
your
fucking
album.
song.
So for us, we drop a podcast every Thursday.
Which is good.
But we also
relevancy.
We also release the reels to make people watch the podcast, and the reels, they get more views than the podcast.
Oh, by far.
By far.
Reels is a new thing. It's like a new thing now.
Well, shorts, reels, stories.
And if you like what you saw on the reel, you might go check out the podcast.
Well, and that's what you're really aiming for.
Right.
And that's what you're really aiming for.
It's like the mindset of like what people like. I mean, they might get on like a streaming app when they're like in their car listening to something in the speaker on the home, but the way that they encounter something that they don't already have the developed craving for. It's like if they're flipping through the thing and it's kind of like whatever is flashy and instantly recognizable. And so like the little like reels and stuff, like here's a bite-sized piece of a thing that exists out there. Like that's how you can get people in their
it's a
mood
catcher.
to find something, and then you can funnel them
it's
into the thing.
basically it's basically a trailer for your content.
It's a teaser, man.
It's basically what it is.
It's an ad.
It's a good way to, like with hashtags and the algorithm, you know, whenever you share it and you share it enough, if you get, all right, so like my theory, right? This is what I've been kind of messing with.
Break it down for us, David.
All right, so
Let's
like
go.
you make a dope enough TikTok video promoting something, then you can share it on your Meta account, and it's Instagram and Facebook. So now you have 2 apps streaming the same thing, and then you could take that same video and put it on YouTube Shorts. So like one TikTok can now stream over
how I do
all of your social media platforms.
That's how I do it.
And it's a good way because not only can you hashtag it and algorithm it, but you can promote it and like really sponsor the post on your Meta account as well.
100%.
You know what I mean?
And what I would also say to go even a little bit further is because I post what I do is I'll post a TikTok and then I'll post on my personal Facebook page, which also posts to Instagram, and then I post on our personal Facebook page. And what I will do on all 3 of those separate posts, the only reason I don't use Meta to put them all together is because I want to try different hashtags on each one of those posts to see which one I hit.
You know,
So if one I hit, then I go, okay, now I can use this hashtag more often than not, because the hashtag game is, if we're going real further, the hashtag game is even the more things. So you got to look at what the trending shit is for the week. You got to look at what your shit is to claim that, and then so you're trying to hit on that, and then you always want to hit on like viral videos or some dumb shit. Like sometimes I'll put some dumbass shit like that don't even relate to our shit, but it's got like 7 billion posts in the last month.
I hate all of that.
yeah,
but
hashtags are kind of annoying. But
I don't.
they are, but they're
I'm glad you do that.
hashtag this, hashtag that, internet troll
but
shit.
I will tell you, one hashtag is the difference between a 4K video and a 500 view video.
Yeah.
I literally have posted the same video on different platforms and got 5,000 views on one and 400 on the other, just because of the network and the algorithm that it was exposed to.
That's good to know that.
It really, and I'm testing that game all the time.
But if you notice what we've been talking about right now, right? If you look back on this whole conversation, what you realize is that today, being a musician and an artist in today's society, you realize how complex you have to deal with just marketing efforts. It's not even the music anymore. It's mainly just promotion.
To me,
that's why nobody wants to do it.
No, I
exactly.
will see now.
It was always
see.
Kind
I
of
come.
that,
I come
though,
from
you know
the.
what I mean, it was just a different problem back in the day, because like before
there was less. It was
See,
easier to push something.
See, now I come from
it was a different problem. It was a different problem.
If you have to manufacture 20,000 CDs and you like don't have 20,000 CDs amount of stuff, you know, you have to like get that deal from the industrial person, like, and then they have, you know, expected profit margins, and you got to like this amount.
See,
of
but nowadays, my point
is go to them.
We don't have to do that.
That is true, though.
Yeah, well,
see,
and that's the beauty of it. Yeah.
See, I will flip that coin on its head. I think it's the best time to be a content creator, the best time to be an artist.
Yeah,
because
it's
now
poppin'.
there's no gatekeepers.
It's really big.
No, there's just no gatekeepers. I didn't have to.
Yeah, but you wanted like 17 million motherfuckers out of your area.
Yeah, but fuck them.
You know what I mean? No, it ain't about fucking. It ain't about fucking.
No, it is.
You are drowned
not
out
true.
by the majority.
No, you're not true. Not true.
Unless you're doing something special, you're drowned out.
Now, I will tell you that I like to think that we're doing something special on this podcast.
This is special. I like this.
Thank you. I appreciate that. But as far as when you're dealing with content creation in this day and age, whether it's music or podcast or whatever it is, same
content.
thing. If you keep doing it, you will drown out all them 1,700 motherfuckers, because they'll give up in a week.
The
They'll
trick
give
is,
up in a week.
Yeah,
the thing
like
is, if you're a real
effort thing,
if you're a real musician, I think this is the best time ever. I couldn't have done this show 15 years ago. Now I get to do it. There is no gatekeepers. I don't have to ask a radio station.
The trick is,
I don't have to ask anybody to promote shit anymore.
You got to get attention. The trick is that anybody can market. Anybody can sponsor a post. You got to have good content. You got to have good music if you're doing music, but not only just the music. You got to have character.
And being a good person
somebody
helps.
likes to look at.
Well, and being a good person helps.
So that's 4 down.
You got to have like a personality. You know what I mean?
But the problem is, in which
4 strikes on us.
Well, how you're
I'm insufferable, so that's not gonna work.
How
for
you
me.
replace being overly handsome is just being easy to work with.
That's how people be popping.
I'm kind of a dick. I'm fat. You know, it's not gonna work. It's not gonna work.
But I will say
it's
too,
not even about all that. Though. It's about like how well can you carry the character that you're trying to promote. You know
how much do you give a fuck?
How much do you give a fuck?
I got on my whiteboard for dailies is why didn't you make a reel today? You fuck. It literally says on my board, how come you didn't make a reel today? You fuck. And I wake up and look at that and go.
Sticky notes are my shit, dog. I put sticky notes up with like little messages on them. Sometimes they remind me, you know.
When you act like when you act like it's a lot to deal with, it takes hours for us to set up this shit. It takes hours to write songs. It takes hours to practice. It takes a ton of time to do that shit. Promotion takes minutes. Promotion takes fucking minutes.
Right there.
It really
This
does.
is what we speak of right now. Like, check out this.
Yeah, check out the show.
We got September 23rd, 8 p.m. Friends Fusion Funk, Ghost Rock with the Estrada Brothers, Sage Judd and Friends, Super Group Worldwide.
Get with Justin. Get with Justin for tickets on that. Where else can we get for tickets? Central Standard Brewing.
Central Standard.
Yeah, go right to Central Standard. You can get tickets for that for $10.
Ticketmaster.
Oh yeah.
Yeah, Ticketmaster. I got my ticket right here. It's on the floor.
If you buy from Ticketmaster, they will be $450 a piece.
Exactly.
But then you do own part of Ticketmaster when you're done.
That's right. That's right.
But I will always say, at the end of the day, I know it's a pain in the ass, but I think it is the best time ever to be an artist. You have so much.
It's like a
chance.
renaissance.
You have a chance for exposure more than ever.
After the plague comes the Renaissance.
See, the COVID and
that's historic. That's historic.
Well,
that's
also
proven.
There's like a
you
big,
get it. You
like,
get it.
Like to your point, just with where accessible, affordable technology has gotten, like the gap. Like if we were to go back to the like 80s or something, and like what an average person could afford, and the results that would get them versus like a commercial studio where they've got the LA2 compressor and it's $4,000, you know, and all the outboard gear.
I got all the Universal Audio.
Was not possible.
Nothing compared to today, though. I tell you,
this is what you were doing. This is what you were doing at your house. You were hitting play and record at the same time.
And you sometimes had to play full band. Like it wasn't very optional to do isolated recording back then.
You can do shit.
Yeah,
especially in the 60s and 70s.
They kept you out of it on purpose. Like they wanted to make content and art exclusive.
They wanted to trap
the technology was cost prohibitive.
Nah,
you know what I mean?
I still feel like it was elitist shit. Like they were trying to like create levels for you to go through.
You were not going to be able to record your entire band with home studio gear.
No, and not be reputable. And not be reputable.
An 8-track thing, and if you want 9 parts, bummer, dude.
I'm just telling you, man.
Right?
I remember when I was a kid, man. There was a 4-track tape recorder. Tascam made it. 4-track tape recorder. that we all did demos on.
You did our first demo tape back in 2019 when Sunset Motel first formed. We hit Aaron up. We were like, we want to record something so we can listen back and show people what we do, so we can get shows until we do it.
Here's my music.
And no, Aaron came to us and he said, I've got an analog system, and I was like, oh, dude, I kind of fuck with that. Like, let's fucking.
I prefer analog.
Yeah, I mean, it had that extra bit of fucking nostalgic vibe to it. You know what I'm saying? So like, we went and we did it, and it was such a good ass time, dude. You know, first time ever being in a recording anything for me, which is pretty cool. I've been, you know,
and it sounded good. And
the analog system, it's the same thing as like a vintage camera when you take a picture with it. You know, it's the same thing when you record it. And like, honestly, for certain aspects of some music, I think that could be like an advantage.
It's a flavor.
It's not,
I guarantee your studio's doing that, right?
Yeah. Well, and they're like. I love like the digital accessibility thing, but I do believe like analog magic exists. Like for example, like on a real analog console, like if you got 32 channels, there's actually like the reason it sounds so flavorful is because there's like literally electronic crosstalk between the channels. Like you got like signal running through and they cross saturate each other. So it'll sound different if you like put the bass here with the drums, and then because there's like literally channel strips that there's like ions going between.
You mean
stuff,
texture?
You know?
Texture?
Yeah, you know what I mean. And so it's like the
depth. depth and texture.
Yeah, because there's like all these
Magic?
like
Juju?
microscopic little like flavorful flaws that happen in the non-linear imperfection of
Makes
the
it
circuits
human.
itself.
Makes it human.
Yeah, and it's
It's
like,
the system.
Well, it's got a
man.
nice. Well, it gives you a feel, just like when say even something as new as like Stranger Things films in the way they filmed it.
Yeah.
like it
It's
gives
a
you
flavor. It's a
nostalgic
flavor.
It
vibe.
gives you a fucking feel that you don't
Yeah.
normally have, and that fucking comes through in art.
Well,
I think.
it also has something to do with the setting. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Like if you had music that would be like great for that type of recording. Like if you were to do it on old-fashioned equipment. You know what I mean? Like if you brought the vibe already and then you added that aesthetic. You know what I'm saying? So like same with Stranger Things. They made everything look like it was in the fucking 70s and
Right.
80s.
Yeah, they
so
did
then
it.
they added that extra
And-
aesthetic
yeah.
and it made it
It
fucking
worked.
gold.
And it
you
worked.
know, it's more music, fucking art, fucking photography, fucking movies, dude. All the same
Yeah,
vibe. If you come with that vibe,
the vintage shit
add
always
that
comes back
aesthetic.
around.
Well,
Vintage shit
yeah,
always
well,
comes
and I
back
think that there's like kind of like
Straight
we've kind
up.
of gotten to the point with like sheer fidelity flexes that like character it almost is like interpreted better than like cleanliness perfection. You know what I mean?
for sure.
Like I think that's one of the reasons why like lo-fi stuff has done so well.
Well, it's got like just what we're saying. It's got a feel and a look and a thing to it that it's hard to replace.
Yep.
And it like even nostalgia.
you can't replace
Well, I got
vintage.
young. Well, see, I have young kids.
can't.
I don't know how. I don't know if you guys got children, but I have a 14-year-old daughter and an 11-year-old son, and like they even relate to vintage nostalgia that they weren't a part of, which is weird. So like
Yeah.
that shit just it relates to human beings in a way. Like it like literally relate to that nostalgia. I'm like, hey motherfucker, you weren't even here.
Don't
for
it,
that.
it like hits a place in your mind, like nostalgic anything. Like you're sitting there, like a smell, a look, just like
It
like
does, it works.
an imagery. Like it'll take you back. Like so, if you add that to your music or if you add that to your art, like you could sit there and like not only give a good product, but you could sit there and be able to take people back. Like I say this about art. I went to the art museum the
comfort
other
zone
day.
battle.
You know, the art museum has those free Saturdays. You know what I mean on certain exhibits.
Mm-hmm.
I went over there and I was hanging out. You know, and I was
We
looking
might have
at.
to stake this motherfucker down.
Man, it's starting to be like a thing.
It was a beautiful thing. I'll tell you. I was looking at the art, and I said my main thing. I said the whole time I was there, wow, that takes me back. That is like time travel. You look back in something. My favorite things is like before 1900, or like anything. Like, and that's same with music. Before like anything like 2000s. You know, you listen to it, and it just it's like a time travel for you, man. To close your eyes or look into the art piece, or like think about the vibe. You know,
Well,
it's like a time travel.
Well, what a lot of people forget is from the 70s, 80s, and into the 90s, all of those wildly decade genres of music were not in. There was no frame of reference. They were all new. Like we tend to forget that music's barely 100 years old.
Yeah,
at least in recording.
Rock and roll's less than a.
Yeah, less than like 50 fucking years old.
Yeah.
And we barely been recording it for very long. We don't realize that like there was no frame of reference for any of that shit. Like that's why the nostalgia of it's so amazing. It's because there's nothing else to fucking compare it to.
Can you
So,
toss
like,
some of my smokes
Kiss
over
got
there?
popular.
These ones? All right, but let's wrap this up because I'm ready for a drink, and let's go see what's going on inside at ICT Fest.
Sounding
Fest
good.
2022.
And I will say as we wrap this second long segment up, I hope you listen to it a lot. If you're an up and coming artist, there's a lot of gems in here.
Yep.
But I will say that at some point, if you are serious about what you're doing and making your music, that you will cross over and work on
The business side of your shit.
the business and promotion.
It's
side
very
of it.
important.
And just make one. I mean, one person in the band will usually, or the group will take hold of it. But it's always nice if they are.
It's usually one person. I'm not gonna lie.
They need
Ask
help.
your bass player; he'll help you.
From experience, you got
Ask your host of your podcast to do it.
when you're in a band, you got a collection of many different minds. You know what I mean? So like you got like 4 different minds, 5 different minds. So like whenever you're doing
Well,
it,
we
when
don't
it
listen
comes
to
down.
drummers, so.
Well, you know, there's always usually 1 or 2 guys out of the band that usually will take the stronghold on doing a lot of things. But
Well,
it's like
you
if
gotta
the
have a
whole
leader.
band helped, it would, you know, it would be.
Yeah, just share it the rest of the
Yeah.
band. Can you just share it the rest of the band?
You know, sometimes everybody helps, you know, but being in a band understands, you know.
Could the rest of the band just share it a bit?
No.
All right, we're good. All right, hey, we'll be back. We'll
David
be back.
Massey, Sage Judd. Thank you guys so much.
And look out for more from Sunset Motel and Sage Judd all the time, guys.
All day.
These are future guests of more podcasts all the time. These are great.
Future rock stars.
We can sit here and talk for hours with these guys. But let's go get some drinks and wander around Sunset Fest.
Do it,
I think it's funny we did a round 2.
Yeah.
And we got ICT Fest. What did I call it? Sunset Fest. Let's
Sunset Fest 4 is
let's podcast at that one time.
So, I'm down. I am down.
All right, but hey, we got to get our camera out of the sun for a little bit.
Yeah.